Hello and welcome to episode 22 of Eye on the Tigers, a podcast all about the National Ice Hockey League, but one that always has an eye on the Telford Tigers. We'll kick off this week with a couple of news stories from the Tigers camp before getting into taking a look at the results from the past week and predictions for the upcoming week. So, first news item from the Tigers camp, it involves that C word. Yep, you've got it, Christmas. It's fast approaching and Tigers have got own and loan Christmas shirts. It was announced Thursday evening along with the design and they went on sale Friday evening. And I'm pleased to say that Eye on the Tigers is owning and loaning back the shirt to number 26, Deacon Fielder. So looking forward to seeing the name Eye on the Tigers on the back of a shirt for the first time. Second bit of news is some signing news. And Tigers have announced that James Smith will be stepping up from Tigers 2 on a full-time basis. He's iced for Telford Tigers national side before, spent some time with the Tigers 2 side, where he's been racking up points for fun, I think it would be fairly safe to say. So this season, just taking a look at stats, he's currently averaging 4.8 points a game in the National League 2, so looking forward to him stepping back up, and I'm not expecting similar numbers in the National League, but certainly making a contribution. Obviously it helps as we've got Sam Watkins out for the rest of the season. We've got Lucas Price currently serving a suspension, and it looks as though perhaps Jaden Pecker's also going to have a suspension incoming, which neatly segues me into results from the past week, or nearly, because there was a game Friday evening, so it's only fair to kick off with that. The Lightning hosted the Wildcats on Friday evening. Fairly close game, but the Lightning ran out 5-3 winners. Moving on to Saturday, Tigers travelled down to take on the Bees. Bit of a feisty one. A couple of players kicked out. Pecker, one of them, for fighting. Harvey Stead for the Bees for coming off the bench and fighting. And also saw that Scott McKenzie dropped the gloves as well, which is pretty unusual. Despite all of that, it was a 3-2 win for the Bees in overtime. So a very tight game, but the Bees edged it in overtime. Saw Tom's interview afterwards. I think it'd be fair to say he was frustrated with the performance. Then luck will be able to bounce back on the Sunday night. That's not going to neatly segue in because still got all the other games on the Saturday night. So, Pitbulls hosted the Phantoms. This one wasn't as close, it would be fairly safe to say. Pitbulls won, Phantoms 10. So, quite a big score run up there by the Phantoms against the Pitbulls. Raiders hosted the Knights, and the Knights were victorious there, 6-4. Steel Dogs hosted the Seahawks. This one was a tight game. Steel Dogs 2, Seahawks 3. So Seahawks just picking up a win on the road there. And then final game of the Saturday was Wildcats hosting the Solway Sharks. That was in Cardiff. Wildcats 4, Sharks 6. So well done to the Sharks picking up a win on the road there. Moving on to Sunday night. The Tigers hosted the Steel Dogs. As I said, judging by the interview after the game on Saturday, Tom wasn't happy with the team and the performance. What a difference a day makes. Tigers 4, Steel Dogs 1. So a good win there, aided greatly, it must be said, by Vladimir Luka hat-trick. Other games from Sunday. So Phantoms hosted the Bees, and it was a 5-3 win for the Phantoms. So that's a good win for them against... I think what would be fairly safe to say this season is a much improved Bees side. Knights hosted the Raiders. Knights got their second win of the weekend over the Raiders, 7-2 on home ice. Seahawks hosted the Pitbulls. A bit of a bizarre scoreline this one. Seahawks 10, Pitbulls 6. So Bristol conceded 20 over the weekend. I mean, 10-6 is... yeah, a relatively rare scoreline, I think it'd be fairly safe to say. No doubt somebody's going to be able to prove me wrong in the comments, but hey-ho, that's the nature of these things. And last but certainly not least, Sharks hosted the Lightning. It was a close game, 4-3 to the winners, who were, drumroll please, the Solway Sharks. Not one I would have predicted at all. In fact, not one that I think many people would have predicted. So a 4-point weekend for the Sharks, and two pretty good scalps in there, travelling away to, albeit currently homeless, Wildcats, and then turning over the Lightning on home ice. So very impressive weekend from them. I would say that beating the Lightning has got to be the surprise result of the season so far. Moving on, so in the upcoming weekend, we have got Pitbulls hosting the Tigers. I'm going to go for a Tigers win. Don't know if we'll be able to put up 10, although I won't complain if we do. But no, Tigers to win that one. Lightning host the Phantoms. Tough one, but Lightning are going to bounce back from their surprise loss at Solway, and they're going to win that one. And Sharks host the Steel Dogs. Was a 4-point weekend, but I think the Steel Dogs are going to pip that one. So I'll go for wins on the Saturday night for Tigers, Lightning and the Steel Dogs. On the Sunday, it's a doubleheader for Telford and Bristol. So it's a return fixture, so back up in Telford. And I'm going to go for another win for the Tigers. So they'll beat the Pitbulls twice over the weekend, is my prediction. Seahawks host the Steel Dogs. Fairly tight, but Steel Dogs to win and by a couple of goals, I'm going to go for. Bees host the Lightning. This one looks really, really interesting. I'm going to go for the Bees in overtime. I could just see them turning over the Lightning. So yeah, Bees in overtime. Raiders host the Wildcats. I'd fancy the Wildcats to come out on top of that one. And then Phantoms host the Sharks to round the fixtures out. And I'm going to go for the Phantoms to win that one. So that's my predictions for the upcoming games. As always, please feel free, leave me a comment, let me know what you think of my predictions and what you're predicting. See you next week. Bye.